वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरुदेव की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna. Today we have amidst us Narayan and Padmanabha Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, and welcome you on behalf of all ICF team. Hare Krishna. You can start, Prabhuji. Over to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Pranams.
Pranam. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Datati Swopadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utappadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for inviting me back to this forum. So I was just going through the verses, very heavy verses. I was telling Narayani Mataji. So I'm going to just maybe if somebody can just maybe very briefly in 2 minutes If anybody wants to recap what was discussed yesterday, because actually this is right in the middle of a series of verses. I don't want to start right in the middle, so I want to maybe 2-3 verses rewind and then start. So just to understand what is the takeaway yesterday from yesterday's discussion of the previous 5 verses, though then I can then step into these verses directly. So if anybody can share their learnings.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Dandavad Pranam.
Dandavad Mataji.
Yesterday's class mainly Mataji covered how a family man, because of attachment, is entangled, and how it is so difficult for a person in the family to come out of it. And that was covered mainly on that
Okay.
subject matter.
How
How determination is so difficult. So many priorities we have in life other than Mangalarti. Why we should prioritize Mangalarti? Otherwise, how time gets wasted. Some points that were covered yesterday.
Okay. Okay, nice. So I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully, yeah. Okay. So I'm going
You
to
want
just.
us to? Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, is it okay? Is it visible? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, a few verses. I just want to. When you put it on the screen, it's much easier. So I'm just reading again from verse 13. I'm going to read the translations. Yeah, this is about a worldly man, worldly woman, whatever, right? Worldly person. Seeing him unable to support them, his wife and others do not treat him with the same respect as before, even as miserly farmers do not accord the same treatment to their old and worn out oxen. So Krishna says this very succinctly in Bhagavad Gita. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosha anudarshanam. So the sequence of verses is about that jara, right? That old age. I don't know how many of you have old people, that you are serving. At least I've had for the last. My father left his body about 6 years back, 7 years back. Yeah, and my mother is 82. So for me, it's been like over more than 10 years now. I've been taking care of old parents, and beyond description what they go through. How much ever we try, so much of suffering, really so much of suffering, and which is why Prabhupada actually told us, saying that we are actually teaching the art of dying. We're not teaching the art of living. It's so interesting, actually. Somebody who learns the art of living but doesn't know how to die actually has not learned anything, right? And the sequence of verses actually, and many times people don't like to discuss these things. This is old age and all that. We are young and energetic and happy, and let's talk about good things. Let's talk about positive things. And Prabhupada used to say, we talk about realistic things. We're not here for positivity or negativity. We don't care, because this is duality of the world. And duality of the world is, there's going to be happiness and distress, but we're not so focused on that. Actually, we are focused on reality. And many times, actually, I've seen devotees who are not fixed on philosophy. I'm very happy that all of you are coming together every day and putting this real yagya. This is sacrifice, right? Every day. Spending time here trying to understand Bhagavatam and glorious purports of Bhagavatam. Because actually the attachment, I've seen many devotees who are still so materially attached. Last time when I think I spoke briefly about this, but maybe just to set the context, how should we actually look at our family? What should be our vision? How should we look at our family? Just summarize learning.
Given by
Prabhuji.
Krishna, and we. Sorry, Mataji, you can go ahead.
No, please go ahead, Mataji. Next I will say.
Yeah, Prabhuji, what I understood is a family is given by Krishna, and we have to take care of him as for Krishna, because it is given by the Lord. In short, in just my words, Prabhuji, what
Okay.
I understood.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Meenakshi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, as per my understanding, we should consider that the family, our family has been given to us by Krishna, as Mataji said rightly, and do our services to them just like we are serving Krishna. And at the same time, remember that, in fact, our mother and father, our children and our husband, and all our relatives, our in-laws, are not actually our relatives. The only relative we have in this world is Krishna. So it's only a we have to understand this world is a stage, drama stage, and we are all having our characters to play. So we need to play them very well, in the sense that we cannot be reluctant to them, we cannot ignore them, but at the same time, we cannot dive into the ocean of emotions and forget Krishna in the process. So we need to understand that we need to do our duties correctly, at the same time have a detached motto in life that this is only my duty, my foremost duty is to approach Krishna
Okay.
and have love for him.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay. So, of course, my focus always when I'm reading Prabhupada's books is practical, right? I mean, I want to understand how we actually put this in practice. I'll give you an instance where, very recently, one of our congregation devotees here, they've been devotees for, I think, much longer than me, possibly 20, 25 years they've been in bhakti. And yeah, unfortunate, very, very unfortunate that they lost their son who was 30 years old. Okay. There was lack of faith. They almost lost trust in Krishna. And their reasoning was, we've been serving Krishna for last 25 years. We've been serving Gaur Nitai for last 25 years. Why did they let this happen? So what should we say? I'm telling this because this is real, right? I mean, see, we can speak about philosophy, right? But these devotees, I mean, they've been serving, they've been in bhakti for 25 years. But they're asking this question, saying that why I served Gaur Nitai so nicely for last 25 years? Why did Gaur Nitai let this happen? What is our answer? What should we tell? Of course, I mean, we'll console them, etc., etc. But what is the philosophical? What is the reality? How should we look at this? 30-year-old, right? Young, not old. Yeah, old people dying. Okay, you might say, okay, maybe they're suffering so much. We might give all kinds of logic, right? Of course, yeah, it's true. Some people suffer so much that when they go, actually, we feel so relieved, saying that, oh, their suffering stopped. But all of a sudden, just like nothing, yesterday everything was good. Person was active, running. One more incident, just like day before, I saw like somebody in my relation, just heart attack, maybe 55, something like that. Heart attack gone, and it was marriage. It was his son's marriage on that day. His son's marriage in the morning, he fell sick and he couldn't sit for the ceremony also, right? His brother sat and he was taken to the hospital, but because marriage was arranged, they said, okay, just continue. Maybe it's he'll come back, blah types. He went to the hospital, didn't come back. Yeah, it is now. Just see, I mean, that family, I was just thinking, how will they celebrate their marriage anniversary? I mean, whole life, it's going to be on the same day I lost my father. On the same day I lost my father. And this is not going to happen now for the rest of their life. So how do we, I mean, sometimes these things, when we are not faced with situations, it's very easy for us to, speak the theory. So how should we deal with these things? I mean, this is reality. This is reality. I mean, we are not, again, we are here. See, what is the idea of Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness has to awaken us. We're not here for sentimental reasons. It's very, very important. I tell a lot of devotees. Because when I saw these devotees 25 years in bhakti, both Prabhu and Mataji, cruising, really, I mean, shaking trust, shaking faith in Krishna. I was taken aback. I said like, wow. I mean, even after 25 years of doing bhakti, right? So what was missing? What was the issue? Or how should we look at this? What was possibly wrong in the way they were looking at things, which is why they were so affected? What would we have done? Or how should we
Hare
approach
Krishna,
this?
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
One reason could be Prabhupada has mentioned that um, religion without philosophy is blind faith. Philosophy without religion is mental speculation.
Mhm.
So many times, initially, what I have observed is all of us come into Krishna consciousness by attending some classes and taking some seniors' guidance. But through the years, we get involved in sevas, and the philosophical part, especially reading and hearing, goes
Very
down,
nice. Very nice.
and even the attending of classes will go down. And many of them just are doing sevas blindly. When we lose touch of Prabhupada's words, I see that we start becoming sentimental, which
Ex-
Prabhupada has told.
Excellent. Very nice. Yeah. Sarika Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Right.
We can also think in a way that most of us devotees engage in karma mishrit bhakti. We still haven't reached a stage of anya abhilashita shunyam, where we do not expect anything in return from Krishna.
Yes.
So we have this loss of faith when we have expectations from Krishna.
Yeah.
I have served you for so many years, Krishna. You could not even look after my family. So we always have this transaction with Krishna. I do so much for you, at least you do this much for me.
Yeah.
So till we reach a stage where we can surrender to Krishna wholeheartedly, only to serve him and for his pleasure, which I know is only possible for pure devotees, which I think that is one of the reasons why when such calamities they come, our faith is shaken. Probably, I'm speculating, Prabhuji.
No,
Like
you're
you
not
said, we
speculating.
haven't experienced it, so we cannot relate to it. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Yeah. Very nice. I think I'm bang on. I think the points, right? First one is the key. First one, that, when we stop reading, I'm not saying hearing again. Last time also I mentioned this, I think. What is the difference between reading and hearing? What are we reading? Are we reading or are we hearing?
Prabhuji, what I understand is when we are reading Prabhupada's words, but when we are hearing along with that, we are also hearing the speaker's realization.
Okay, so what is more effective? Our own introspection of Prabhupada's words, or yeah, what maybe every different individuals would have different experiences. At least in my own life, what I've seen is that Prabhupada's words are so powerful, so insightful, that if we can actually read them and give it, it's called mananam nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam means actually it's like a treasure. So we have to get into the treasure. We have to enter the treasure, meaning we have to introspect what we are reading. And many times, various devotees come and share their realizations. But when Krishna says "Dadami buddhi yogam tam ena mam upayanti te," Krishna exactly knows what is required for us, right? And when we read, systematically we build a foundation. Systematically, I'm using this word systematically, right? Because what happens with hearing, and it's good, you're doing sequential hearing, right? But the realizations of devotees will not be sequential, in the sense they're already maybe assuming that there's a certain foundation built, right? But when we read, we build that foundation to be able to actually understand and appreciate those realizations better. So actually reading is the foundational thing, because when we are reading, we are hearing from Prabhupada. Well, we are hearing only, but we are hearing Prabhupada's realizations. No, what is more powerful, right? My realization or some other devotee's realization or Prabhupada's realization. So the foundation of our Krishna consciousness is Prabhupada's book and not hearing, right? We hear Prabhupada by reading his books. That builds the foundation. That builds the foundation, and it also helps to protect ourselves. Helps us to protect ourselves from possible deviations at times, certain times possible. What can I say? Imperfections in others' realizations, because sometimes others' realizations are also not necessarily completely perfect, because yeah, we're all conditioned, right? And so it's very important that we read Prabhupada's books and build our realization. Now, when we talk about building realization, this is a very important topic. What does building realization mean? What do we mean by building realization? What does it mean by somebody having realizations? What does it actually mean?
Prabhuji, the philosophy, when we when I apply it and I experience something, so it is like realizing. For example, with me, I earlier when I came, I used to hear a lot about prasadam, but on that level, I couldn't understand. Say, matlab, what difference would that make? But I have certain experiences, so I may now count it under my realization. Am I right?
Yes, very nice. So what it means to have realizations in life is to apply instructions. Realizations come when we apply the instructions which seem theoretical to us, right? So up to a certain point in time in our life, many instructions that Prabhupada is giving, our acharyas are giving, Krishna is giving, etc., they'll remain on the theoretical platform, right? Now it can be converted into realization to the extent that we start applying them in our life, in our day-to-day life. So why do some devotees have more realization than others? Because they've applied more of the instructions in their life than others. And what is required to be able to apply those instructions in life is determination, willingness, willpower, right, to actually apply instructions. So which means that in this case, when this situation happened, whatever be, yeah, it might be Mishra Bhakti, it might be lack of touch or lack of reading, etc. The point is that we still know the basic philosophy that I'm not this body, and that all of us have karma phala, and that there is janma mrityu. Nobody can stop this except Krishna if he wants. Very rare cases. He might delay somebody's death like Ajamila, right? But that's not for everybody. Yeah, you come and we will have to go at some point of time. No, this is ABCD knowledge. It's not some hi-fi, some deep philosophy, right? But the challenge is to apply this. And I see, like, simple things, we will talk about this. Suppose say our children are home, or, family, husband, wife, whatever, right? And suppose say they go through some very difficult situation in life. We fail to apply. We fail to apply the knowledge, and thereby we don't get realizations. And those who have got realizations have tried to apply those knowledge. So if something happens, I mean, we don't want anything to happen, but anything can happen, right? Padam padam yat vipadam natesham, right? So when something happens, we have to first read, so we know that, okay, these are things that I need to apply in my life, which means repeated reading will help and keep it top of mind recall, right? Saying that, okay, like this, okay, this, I heard this. So let me try to apply this. I've got a situation now for application. And that requires willpower, that requires strength, right? And this is what makes the difference between realizations and then just having theoretical knowledge. So one of the things that we have to really do is in the association of devotees, help each other to apply instructions, right? So if suppose somebody is having some challenge, it's not that we go and just pacify them on the material platform. I've heard, like, I mean, some conversation with some authorities here, local authorities, etc. Somebody's devotees, parents died, etc. And they said, we have to go and console them on the. I said, like, what are we consoling them? What are we consoling them about? Yeah, I mean, we always feel separation from a Vaishnava, right? If the devotee, if a person is a Vaishnava, and you will feel separation, right? Obviously, which is okay. But then that separation is expressed not in terms of, oh, it's okay, he had to go. Not like that, right? The separation is expressed as happiness or recollection of those incidents where, which you had or interacted with the devotee and the nice, here the way that person led his or her life in bhakti, etc., etc. These are the recollections, and this is what makes it special. Feel, oh yeah, this person was so special because he touched so many people's life as a Vaishnava. And instead of that, what we will do is we'll go and say, ha, theek hai, we don't we will console on the material platform. We'll never come to the spiritual platform. So it's very important to actually apply this. These verses seem like it's not for me. It's not for me. It's absolutely for us, right? Each and every small situation of potential emotion in family life, potential emotion, meaning, yeah, otherwise I would have cried. Otherwise I would have come under pressure. That otherwise is very, very important, because that otherwise has to be, why otherwise? Because if I had not understood Krishna conscious philosophy, so what, now that I've understood Krishna conscious philosophy, I need to apply this. That is very, very important. Please take each and every opportunity to apply this philosophy that I'm not this body. I keep trying day in and day out. And yeah, continuous, the struggle keeps going on. Day in and day out, every situation, I see that my conditioning comes forth so powerfully and makes me act on the, condition platform. And then I force myself saying, no, this is not, this is condition. I have to rise above this. How Prabhupada said these things. Now let me try to apply. So very important, please try to apply. It's very, very important, right? Otherwise we can't move forward. We can't move forward. Mataji was saying about pure devotee. Who is a pure devotee? Did I speak about this last time I came? I don't know. Who is a pure devotee?
No expectations
Okay.
from Lord.
Okay.
Who
Okay. So
applies the
let me
philosophy,
let me
as you
help
said.
you. Let me help you think
No
about this.
material expectations, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. So there is a first standard in pure devotion. There is a graduation in pure devotion. Now you tell me what this first standard level is and what this graduation level is. What is the first standard pure devotee? And there is first standard pure devotee.
Niskama karma, without any expectation, they do bhakti and they don't have any attachment to the material.
Oh, that is the first standard or graduation? I'm asking first standard. Then
Prabhuji,
you
isn't
also
that
tell me what
Following
the
the
graduation is.
instructions, following the instructions, Prabhu.
Following the instructions. Okay. But if I'm already following the instructions, am I already not gone past first standard? I mean, first standard is when I'm just taught A for apple, B for whatever, right? First standard or KG1 or whatever that is, right? I'm just being taught A for apple, B for ball, blah, or whatever that is, right?
Preaching.
Just
Prabhuji,
please
in
think
first
about this.
standard,
Yeah.
Chanting.
in first standard, I have to make an effort, like people like me who have to make an effort. And graduation is the exalted ones, the acharyas for whom it came
Very
naturally.
nice.
They were
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it might be natural or it became second nature, right, for them over a period of time. So first standard is when I decide saying that I have to graduate. This is first standard, meaning just saying when Prabhupada said ISKCON is the Institute for Pure Devotional Service. And when we enter ISKCON, we should make up our mind saying that, hey, this is actually an Institute of Pure Devotional Service. I need to graduate out of it, becoming a pure devotee. Let me desire to start becoming a pure devotee. This is first standard. In pure devotion, the first standard is desiring to become a pure devotee. Please, this is very, very important to note, because most devotees, they think that it's going to, some magic is going to happen at some point of time, right? When we suddenly move from Mishra Bhakti to Buddha Bhakti. No magic is going to happen. what is going to happen is that we as the Atma, we start thinking about this, saying that I want to become a pure devotee. That's all. This is the beginning of pure devotional life. Yeah, at that point of time, I don't have the strength. I mean, and I'm sufficiently materially attached. And yeah, I might have emotions, I might have sentiments, I might have this, I might have that, whatever, all kinds of anarthas we have, right? But the only thing that actually qualifies us to come and sit in this class of pure devotion service is just my desire to become a pure devotee, right? The whole process of Krishna consciousness initial days is to, which is why I keep emphasizing reading Prabhupada's books, because Prabhupada is not talking about Mishra Bhakti. Where did this Mishra Bhakti come from? Just think about this. Where did Mishra Bhakti come into ISKCON? Has Prabhupada anywhere used Mishra Bhakti? Has Prabhupada anywhere spoken about, yeah, it's okay to do sense gratification? Where has this whole concept come into ISKCON? Right? I mean, it's a very, very important thing to think about. Right? That's because we are not basing our understanding of Shastra on Prabhupada. That's why I used to get beaten up in my temple, like people never used to call me for classes. That you can't digest what you keep speaking, right? Don't come and give classes. People will go crazy but unfortunately for me, my day one of Krishna consciousness till now, in fact, I mean, it's not a great qualification, but I have not even completely read all books that my Guru Maharaj has written. I've just been I'm still stuck in Prabhupada's books. Because there is so much to know and apply, right? And repeatedly, when you read Prabhupada's books, you get only one thing you tend to understand, saying that I have to become a pure devotee. There's nothing else, because nothing else is going to attract Krishna. Nothing else is going to give me Krishna. And the real question is, do I want Krishna or do I want this material world? Do I want to come back? Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. What do I want? No, if I want Krishna, then I should at least register in this Institute of Pure Devotional Service. What are the registration? I just stand in front of Krishna and say, Krishna, I want to become your pure devotee. Please help me, guide me. And from that day on, actually, we are on the path of pure devotion, but just that we are in the beginning stage. And how does one actually start to become a pure devotee? Is by applying these instructions, which are all instructions of pure devotional service. There are no instructions of mixed devotional service in Prabhupada's purports. They're all just instructions of pure devotional service. So if you actually start thinking those in that way, then we would like to apply these, irrespective of how difficult it might seem. And that means that we are making progress. Then we are making progress in a direction that we will actually achieve perfection. Right? And this whole topic is about that, especially for grihasthas. Right? It's very, very difficult. Prabhupada actually in one purport in Bhagavad Gita says, affection towards family is natural. What do we do with this? Affection towards family is natural. But that affection should not be on the material platform. It should be on the spiritual platform. Till we develop that understanding that, yeah, my son or daughter is not well and I'm disturbed. My another friend in ISKCON, her daughter or son is not well. The day I start experiencing both of these similarly, that means I'm making progress. It's very, very important actually to develop this. And naturally, yes, we have a little more additional responsibility towards as parents or as husband, wife, etc., which we should take care. We should do our duty, right? But when we look at, which is actually this whole thing about seeing ourselves as Atma, is the beginning of seeing others as Atma. Just think about this statement. Till the time we start seeing ourselves as Atma, we will not be able to see others as Atma. Till we continue to see ourselves as body, we tend to see everybody else's body. Right? So this is very, very important. These verses actually help us to actually move on that path. So I'm just going to continue. Foolish man does not become averse to family life, although is maintained by those whom he once maintained. Deformed by influence of old age, he prepares himself to meet ultimate death. And in fact, all of us have to prepare, right? And this is what Parikshit Maharaj actually asks Shukadev. No, the whole assembly of sages saying that what should a person who is about to die, what should he do? What are his duties? And then Prabhupada in the purport says, we are all about to die. Nobody here knows when, right? Parikshit Maharaj was so fortunate that he had notice. He got a 7-day notice. We don't know whether we're going to have a 7-minute notice, 7-second notice, 7-hour notice, 70-hour notice. We don't know. So all of us have to prepare. So there is nothing like, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be a better devotee. What is tomorrow? Is there going to be a tomorrow? Hopefully. Thus he remains at home just like a pet dog and eats whatever is so negligently given to him, afflicted with many illnesses such as dyspepsia and loss of appetite. He eats only very small morsels of food and he becomes an invalid who cannot work anymore. Okay, so today's verses. Interest of time, I'm going to just read the verses. In the diseased condition, one's eyes bulge due to the pressure of air from within and his glands become congested with mucus. He has difficulty breathing, and upon exhaling and inhaling, he produces a sound like gura gura, a rattling within the throat. Now, what is this saying? What is this saying? This is saying that yeah, all of us go through health problems, right? When we go through health problems, how much does our bhakti fall? Imagine I have a headache. Am I going to skip Mangalarti? Am I going to skip my chanting? Am I going to skip my reading session? What am I going to skip when I'm not well? How much my consciousness will be drawn to the body? How many times in our life so far we've been thinking, oh, I'm suffering so much. Why me? Right? So all this shows that we are just on the bodily platform. Right? And how do we transcend? Practical application. I have a headache. Ahituki apratihata. Okay, I'm not going to stop. My schedule is not going to change. Okay, maybe I'm not able to get up at 5 or 4 or whatever, 4 o'clock or whatever time we get up. But it's okay. I'm going to make sure that at least I do my chanting. So no, trying not to drop the ball on bhakti. Right? Because this is just the final test. Whatever description here is the final test of the body breaking down. But every now and then our body keeps breaking down. Right? And every small instance of that breakdown, we should never go down in our bhakti. Right? That's a fall down. A fall down actually doesn't mean that like big gross level fall down, right? Fall down just means we are doing bhakti at certain level and we just come down from that. So when we go through health problems, we should try hard to not come down on our, on our devotional commitments, whatever we have committed ourselves to do. In this way, he comes under the clutches of death and lies down, surrounded by lamenting friends and relatives. And although he wants to speak with them, he no longer can because he's under the control of time. For formality's sake, when a man is lying on his deathbed, his relatives come to him and sometimes they cry very loudly, addressing the dying man, oh, my father, oh, my friend, oh, my husband. In that pitiable condition, the dying man wants to speak with them and instruct them of his desires. But because he's fully under the control of time factor, death, he cannot express himself. And that causes him inconceivable pain. I mean, just look at this statement actually. It's so scary actually, right? Sometimes, we might have had experiences in some dreams or something, right? Like you want to say something, but nothing is coming out of your mouth, right? And we might get up like really scared. We can't imagine. You can't imagine. Just, I'm sitting here. I want to say something and nothing is coming out of my mouth, right? And this is death, this situation we won't have experienced ever in our life, right? Most of us don't experience this situation where we can't say anything at all. So this whole thing that, when he cannot express himself causes inconceivable pain. He's already in a painful condition because of disease and his glands and throat are choked up with mucus. He's already in a very difficult position. And when he's addressed by his relatives in that way, his grief increases. Krishna tvadiya pada pankaja panjarantam adhaiva me vishatu manasa rajahamsa. प्राणाप्रयाणसमये कफवता पित्तै Kantavaroda Vido Smaranam Kutaste. Kulashekar Alvar is singing, saying that, take me away right now, Krishna. I'm in a good state. In a good state of body, good state of mind. Take me now. Right? Because this suffering is unprecedented. We don't remember ourselves suffering in our past life like this. And this is going to happen for the first time at death in this body, isn't it? All of us are going to experience this for the first time when we have to leave our body. We have to understand, saying that in our life, all other situations, we are given multiple chances. So first time we don't succeed, we can get up to some level, then again we practice, then maybe next time we improve. Like I was saying, I have one time sickness, okay, my practice goes down, okay, next time I'll make sure, no, next time this happens, I'm going to maintain the bar. Okay, next time I get a fever, then I'll say, no, this time I'm going to do. Right, I might move slightly higher, improve. But this situation is not going to happen multiple times. What we are going to go through at the time of death is just going to be happening once in this lifetime, and then death, right? So which means we can't wait for some training, or we can't wait for some situation where we can learn to deal with this situation. And that learning to deal with death actually comes with learning to deal with every little difficulty in our life. And one of the things here also which strikes me when I'm reading this purport is that why this person wants to express himself, because he's not self-satisfied. He's not in the Atma. He's material. His consciousness is material. He wants to talk to other people. He wants to say something. No, devotee should be so, just satisfied with Krishna, satisfied chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That, yeah, if I don't have an opportunity to do anything and I have to just sit, I'm happy to just sit and just chant, right? Whether whether some sound is coming out of my throat or not, I'm just happy being in the association of Krishna Nama, right? Actually, for many years, I used to think, saying that why there is so much emphasis on chanting and hearing, because there's a lot of confusion among the ISKCON devotees, saying that should I imagine the image of form of Krishna and Radha? How should I chant? How should we chant? Prabhupada told us just chant and hear. Why? Because at this time, we won't have vision. We might not have vision. Right? Only thing that can possibly function properly is our consciousness, if at all we have trained it. And in that, it's just the Hare Krishna Mahamantra which is going on in our mirror of the heart, right? In the mind. And we are just happy and, satisfied with experiencing that Nama, in our inside ourselves, because we can't do any gross senses are not functioning, right? So this whole process of chanting actually is training our subtle body, our subtle existence to actually embrace Harinam. Because if we keep engaging gross senses will stop functioning at some point of time. And if you're dependent on gross sense, saying that I'm going to see the Lord's form and only then I'm going to actually my chant, then it may not work, because in these kind of difficult situations, not all our gross senses will be in functioning state, right? So which is why this process is about, Shravanam Kirtanam, because eventually whether I'm able to chant loudly or not, I can that sound can go on in my heart, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, without even a little sound coming out of my mouth. So silent chanting, basically we don't practice that right now, but it can come. It can come as a after result of, practicing hearing again and again. That's one. The other thing is about hearing is, even if you can't see, suppose some devotees mercifully come around us and start chanting Hare Krishna, our ears will stand up, right? And we will just become, engrossed in that Nama. And we have to practice this. We have to practice. That is why chanting is the most important process. And there's no other process which is as important as chanting in progress, making progress. right? And good association is that association which enables you to do good chanting, good reading. That is good association, right? And we have to really prepare for this. I mean, these verses just are about this, like I said, art of dying. We're just preparing ourselves for that inevitable moment when we will have to leave this cross body. We will have to leave. We can't continue, right? Thus, the man who engaged with uncontrolled senses in maintaining a family dies in great grief. Seeing his relatives crying, he dies most pathetically in great pain and without consciousness. This cannot be the death of a Vaishnava. This cannot be the death of a person in Krishna consciousness. This is the death of a person who is not in Krishna consciousness. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that at the time of death, one will be absorbed in the thoughts which he cultivated during his lifetime. And when we are chanting in the morning, we will be absorbed in the thoughts we have cultivated throughout the day yesterday. It's so simple. Krishna consciousness is so simple, right? Whatever you feed into your mind, into your consciousness during the day, it's just like it's like one of my devotees who brought me into Krishna consciousness. Now he used to tell, saying that chanting is like a X-ray machine, right? Or Xerox machine, right? Wherein the mind, it's a Xerox of the mind, meaning whatever is coming out is just whatever is going on in your head. And what is going on in head is whatever was going on in your head yesterday. Whatever was going on in your head yesterday was whatever was going on in your head day before yesterday, right? And it's just that which keeps coming out every day we are chanting. So when we are chanting, why we are not able to focus on Nama? Because whole day we didn't focus on Nama. Whole day we focused on material things. And that's why I keep highlighting to people, saying that please focus on Varnashrama. Come out of Grihastha. Make a plan to come out of Grihastha ashram. Don't think that rest of the life is Grihastha. Once a Grihastha, always a Grihastha. No. Once a Grihastha at 50 becomes a Vanaprastha. If you don't switch off, cut off this material entanglement, there's no magic that's going to happen. There's no magic that's going to happen, right? Consciousness is built based on the day's experience, based on the things that we do during the day. So it's not going to be one lightning that strikes one fine morning and suddenly, I'm just all washed out. No, that can happen only if, like, if I have some material disease, right? Like I forget everything of the past, right? But not otherwise. Not otherwise. Progress in Krishna consciousness will not happen like that. It's not going to be like some overnight phenomena. It's just about how much effort we are putting to actually move away from this entanglement. Entanglement just means how much material thoughts are in my head. So much material entanglement. And I keep telling a lot of Matajis, especially, right? Yeah, some people understand, some don't. And that's okay. Is that, Matajis already have sufficient responsibilities, right? Just their houses, taking care of stuff, children, parents, elders, etc., etc. Many Matajis, for whatever, maybe it's their karma phala, maybe it's their own desire, whatever, right? They take on additional responsibility of actually doing a job. My wife was in that position, and then I used to see her day in and day out. This is very early in our Krishna conscious life. So, and I used to tell her, saying that, aren't you struggling? I mean, is this okay? Do you want to do this all your life? At least I can't see you going through so much of struggle, right? I mean, you're struggling to take things up at home. Yeah, I can do how much ever I can, but I can't really replace, right? So you're doing stuff at home, you're doing stuff at office, you're coming back from office, you're taking calls, you're sleeping at like 11 o'clock, you're getting up. I said, I feel tired looking at you. And then she was like, okay, no, we have so many loans. I said, why are we worried? Krishna is there. Let's do the right things in our life. And then we said, okay, we depend on Krishna. One salary, 50% gone, let it go. Right. And then, yeah, it was required. And she also just like, she gave up her job. And I saw her consciousness just suddenly improved, like, because one big part of the thought process was thrown out. Right. And I also experienced myself now for about 3-4 years. I've not been working, and I see that, half of the garbage in my head is gone. Right? There's still the rest of the garbage, which is going to take some more time. But yeah, this build-up has to happen, right? Or the reduction of material thoughts, material involvement has to happen, and the more spiritual involvement has to happen. And this is the way of our life, right? This is why this whole thought process about varnashrama around bhakti is very, very important, because if we don't give ourselves a chance, it's not going to come by itself. We have to create that situation for ourselves where we're saying, okay, I'm taking away all these unnecessary thoughts from my head now, right? Because I'm done with this. That's not dropping the ball. It's not when I have to do my duty. It's after the time when Shastra is saying, okay, yeah, get your children married, wash your hands off. The earlier we are able to do that, better for us, right? Otherwise, yeah, it's just all these thoughts absorbed, cultivated over the lifetime is what is going to come at the time of death. A person who had no other idea than to properly maintain his family members must have family affairs in his last thoughts. That is a natural sequence for a common man. Common man does not know the destiny of his life. He's simply busy in his flash of life, maintaining his family. See, we have to remember this. It's just a flash of life. We don't have too much time. At the last stage, no one is satisfied with how he has improved the family economic condition. Everyone thinks that he could not provide sufficiently. Because of his deep family affection, he forgets his main duty of controlling the senses and improving his spiritual consciousness, because this cannot be some sadhana we are going to start at the last stage of our life. So this duty of controlling senses and improving our spiritual consciousness is what we are trying to do today, preparing for that last moment. Sometimes a dying man enters the family affairs to either his son or some relative, saying, I'm going, please look after the family. He does not know where he is going, but even at the time of death, he is anxious about how his family will be maintained. Sometimes it is seen that a dying man requests the physician to increase his life at least for a few years, so that the family maintenance plan which he has begun can be completed. Somebody was talking to a devotee yesterday. So she was saying, Prabhu, poor thing, she's a single mother. So she was saying, Prabhu, my son is just finished 10th. So last 6 months she was stuck with his 10th. So I said, okay, that's fine. 10th, I understand. Okay. And then now she's saying, oh, now 2 more years of PUC. I said, you are repeating the story of Narada Muni, right? This is not going to end. Then it's going to be his engineering, then it's going to be his marriage, then it's going to be his this, his that, and you're going to keep going on and on. And at what expense? At the expense of your bhakti. So we have to be very careful, unless we do hard Shravanam. We have to do hard hitting Shravanam, right? Not soft peddling Shravanam, right? Soft peddling Shravanam is not going to be useful, right? And yeah, my approach to bhakti is not just that I won't say, okay, just get up, do Mangalarti, and yeah, rest of the day do whatever you want. No. The evaluation is the quality of our chanting. Any other sadhana around is just supporting. And how should it support? It should support in such a way that your chanting is super good. If that's not happening, everything else is just just not substantial. Right? So if you want to evaluate how good your sadhana is, just look at your chanting. And it might not be good at all. It's not been good for me for the last 15 years. So it's not like don't think that you're some special case, horrible, failure case. No, this is true for everybody. But the only difference is how much we are trying to come out. That's the only difference between a devotee who is making progress and a devotee who is not. Right? But all of us are in the same boat, right? You don't have to think that somebody is more elevated than others. These are the material diseases of the conditioned soul. He completely forgets his real engagement to become Krishna conscious, and is always serious about planning to maintain his life. Although he changes families one after another. We just don't remember this. Okay. At death, he sees the messengers of the Lord of Death come before him, their eyes full of wrath, and in great fear he passes to enduring. The two kinds of transmigration of a living entity after passing away from the present body. One kind of transmigration is to go to the controller of sinful activities, Yamaraj, and the other is go to Vaikuntha. Here, Lord Kapila describes how persons engaged in activities of sense gratification to maintain a family are treated by the Yamadutas. At the time of death, the Yamadutas become the custodians of those persons who strongly gratified their senses. They take charge of the dying man and take him to the planet where Yamaraj resides. Conditions there are described in the following verses. Maybe just one last verse. Okay, so I'm going to just let whoever is going to start from tomorrow know that they have to start from 20, because this is a sequence of verses. Again, we shouldn't break the sequence in the middle, because a person who is speaking will not get the flow. So yeah, this can be a beginning, so that a criminal is arrested for punishment by so the Yamaduta, the whole sequence of verses can start. So I'll just stop here. Yeah, I just stop here, right? Open to questions or discussions, anything any of you want to share.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so
Hare
much for the
Krishna.
wonderful class, especially because you always make it so essential that we understand that whatever we are doing, we have to practice it practically in the material world, which is the great difficulty. We may read something, we may chant, but whether we are chanting in the real mood we are supposed to, and whether we are applying all that we read is what counts most. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Devotees, please raise your hands for questions.
Yeah, yes, Sarikaman.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare
thank
Krishna.
you for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, today we were discussing how at the time of death, all jivas face difficulties. And my question is regarding how can we console a person who is not in Krishna consciousness,
Okay.
like that example you gave of a devotee couple who were in Krishna consciousness for so many years and lost their son. So counseling them or talking to them, consoling them would be easier at a level. How do we console a person who has lost their child, who are not in Krishna consciousness? What can we say to them, Prabhuji?
Yeah, what can we say to them? At that point of time, it's very difficult to say anything, right? One of the things we have to learn is actually, see, compassion is very important for a devotee, right? So when something like this happens to non-devotee, just be with them. Don't try to advise anything. First thing, right? At that point when they're going through the immense pain, just be with them. Be with them in a way that they will turn towards us at some point of time. It's very, very important. See, always for Shravanam, we have to create a conducive environment for Shravanam. We don't just hit hard when it's already paining. So especially for those people who, it's so difficult for somebody who doesn't understand all this to just. So one of the things that Shastra also tells us is, we suggest general, not one-on-one counseling. We suggest general, like for example, read the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, or read the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and help in a general manner, right? Just talk about, this is what Krishna is saying. This is, this is the philosophy of life. It's important for us to understand, but it's not a one-on-one counseling, because they won't be able to digest one-on-one, right? And when there are, and we should try to create this platform if possible. Maybe it's just a 2-day, 3-day, whatever it is, right? Get some, either you can do, or somebody else who's, who's the ability to take people through this kind of an experience and just help them understand without very hard hitting statements at that point of time. Just for them to, what is required for them to understand is only two things at that point of time. Saying that we are not the body, we are spirit, soul. Second, there is karma phala, and we have to accept it. These two things we have to understand, or even simplistically put, there is birth and death, right? Somebody who's born will die. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Somebody who's born has to die. As long as they're able to at least understand these two things, to some extent, their suffering will be reduced to some extent, right? And of course, sometimes I also tell this story of Chitraketu in Bhagavatam, right? Where he had a son, Angira gave him a son, Harsha Shoka, right? So he was the cause for their happiness, but then he also dies at a very young age. And then Narada Muni comes and actually re-invites that soul into the body. The soul comes back to the body and says, who? Which parents are you talking about? Narada Muni is saying, your parents are distraught, they're suffering, they're like so much of pain. The Atma says, which parents? In which life were they my parents? And then that satisfies those parents and they say, yeah, okay, I mean, we are just parents in this life. So this Atma is transmigrating. So then that whole incident helps people understand saying that, yeah, this is temporary, it's there, it was there, and we had to, and it'll keep moving. Basics they have to understand at that point of time, nothing more, right? And that's just second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is possibly good enough for them to get a general understanding.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
And also during these times, they read Garud Puran.
Yeah,
So
it's
for
okay to read Garud Puran.
non-devotees, they like I recently experienced this. One of my cousins had lost his son, and they invited somebody to come and read the Garud Puran, but they were more aggrieved after listening to Garud Puran because of the detailed, journey of the
Yeah.
soul.
Garud Puran is heavy, right? It's much easier to actually take them through second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Garud Puran, most of them will start feeling they'll be repentant that I didn't do this, I should have done this, that, and all that when they hear these things, right? And in that situation, actually, it's not such a good thing to do any rewind business. Actually, this is another thing. These are some of my sutras in life. Don't rewind ever in life. What does this mean? Don't rewind.
Don't think of the past.
Yeah, you just
Live
say
in
like,
present tense, Prabhuji.
yeah, be in the present, be in the future about Krishna, Krishna consciousness, right? Don't ever. I told you no means rewind, and we do this all the time in our engagements. Like I told you not to do this, meaning rewind. So we should not rewind, and especially in these situations, we should never rewind. People do this actually. They remind people of how nice those relations were, those days were. It's just going to increase the pain. We should just be as objective as possible at that point of time, not triggering their emotions, right? Which is important. At the same time, we give them just enough for them to, consume. Don't make it too heavy also. Anyway, it's a balance we have to strike. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. In connection to that, I know there are some people who read Srimad Bhagavatam when someone leaves the body in the family. What do you say for that, Prabhuji?
No, I mean, see, anything actually this time when this devotee lost their son, so we went through 7 days of Bhagavatam. Okay, but the whole idea of what we discussed from Bhagavatam was only about how powerful Krishna is because they lost their faith. So our whole attempt was to re-establish Krishna's position. That how they have to look at relationship with Krishna, how Krishna deals with devotees. How many times it's inconceivable, it's unimaginable, it's achintya. We can't understand what Krishna is doing, why he's doing. So these kind of things were highlighted. Yeah, but the whole that was only because they were devotees. But I won't do that for some new, like people who are not in Krishna consciousness. I mean, that's my approach. Like I said, everybody will have their own thought process around this. Okay. I don't know who lifted your hand next. You can please.
Prabhuji, is there a book on the art of time?
All of Prabhupada's books is just about that.
No, any specific book? Small book?
No, actually one, I think Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj has written a book called Death. I don't know, I have not read it, but I remember that there is some book called Death. But Prabhupada's books are just all about it.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Shobha Mataji, you can ask Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I can't hear if somebody saying something.
Shobha Mataji, you're not audible, Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji, am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, just wanted to know, like, we are in Grasta ashram and still the responsibilities are not done, and still the kids are in studying phase. So we try to come out of this, phase, but then we are doing sevas with the Janmashtami coming on. We are doing everything, but then again and again there are various sorts of entanglements in front of us. Then we again go back, and then again we try to come out. So this comes like a bhakti sometimes goes very nicely, and sometimes it comes very, very down. So how do we come out of this and think with like we can be detached, because somehow we are still into that very much attachment mode, that my kid is sick, then my kid has to do this, so please help me, Lord, please. Again and again, without intentionally or unintentionally, we are again desiring and somehow getting entangled again in this phase. So that is my question, how to help ourselves in that.
Yeah, like see, one thing we have to understand, right? How much faith we have in Krishna. Really, that is a question to be answered, right? If we have faith in Krishna, that Krishna is there in my life, Krishna will take care of things. Is Krishna so ignorant that I have to stand in front of him and tell him that this is my problem? Actually, not just that. We go one more step and we say, Krishna, by the way, this is the problem. Also, just in case you didn't know, this is the solution. you know. So, I mean, we have to just think, saying that, whom am I interacting with? Am I interacting with some another just limited jiva, or I'm interacting with the Supreme Personality of Godhead? If it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, why do I have to actually tell him all this all the time? Why doesn't he know? Is he not seeing me? He's absolutely seeing. Every devotee he is seeing. Just have faith in Krishna. Do our duty. For example, see some child is unwell, just take him to the doctor. That's it. That's our duty. Yeah, take care. But why do we have to be emotionally? I mean, child, a body is there, it's going to go through suffering. Why do we have to be emotionally attached to it? Right? And we have to practice this, saying that, see, I'm just doing my duty. Of course, see, it's difficult for mothers, right? Because that umbilical cord connection, right? I mean, it's very, very deep, the emotional connection with the body and byproducts of the body. But we have to apply, we have to practice. We have to practice. I mean, it's like I said, it's just practice. That's why this is called sadhana bhakti. We have to keep practicing. We might fail 100 times. It's fine. It's like Jarasandha, right? He kept trying, kept trying. So we have to keep trying. There's no shortcut to this. And yes, if you're in the association of devotees who are able to do this, then it will make it much easier for you, because then you can speak to some people, other Matajis who are, and you can learn from them, saying that how they are able to deal with similar situations. So if you have good association of devotees who are able to deal at that stage, then it's good. You should interact with them, etc. Otherwise, we keep trying. There's no other answer. There's no other solution. We have to keep trying. Build faith. See, and one of the other things that I, at least for me, it's more than actually, we should not worry so much about our entanglement in the material world as much as our attraction towards Krishna. Uh, for at least in my own life, my entanglement automatically ceased because my attraction to Krishna increased. So how do we increase our attraction to Krishna? What did Prabhupada say?
Hearing about Krishna.
Read Krishna book every day. Every day. Last time also I said this. Read Krishna book every day. Read Krishna book every day. Automatically your attraction to Krishna will increase. Prabhupada said anybody who reads this book will develop love for Krishna. It's written in the preface, right? So we just keep reading Krishna book day in, day out. I mean, every day we read, then we develop attraction to Krishna. And when we develop attraction to Krishna, automatically this attraction towards this material world will go down. We don't have that. We are not gyanis, right? We are not sitting and saying, now I'm going to, pull out the hair from my head and become detached. No, we're not crazy, right? We just develop so much attachment to Krishna that we just don't notice all these things. And it's possible. That's the process recommended. That's the Shravanam process, right? Read Prabhupada's books. Read Krishna book every day. Develop attraction to Krishna. once we develop attraction to Krishna, then this Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehina Rasavarjam Rasopyasya Param Drishtava Nivartate. Then this mundane attraction will cease. It will cease. Krishna is so powerful.
Okay, and Prabhuji, if we are like in the case of child or in the case of someone who is very close to us, we are doing for their mental well-being or maybe something mala for them. So is it again into that desire mode I'm doing, or
Okay, so first thing I want to say is we can't do any mala for anybody. I told this last time also I came. We can't do any japa for anybody else. What is japa actually? Japa is a process of asking for service, right? So in this, there are two variants possible. One is asking for service for ourselves, or you can ask for service for somebody else, right? So for example, somebody is unwell, we can say, we are praying for the spiritual welfare of that jiva and chanting Hare Krishna. But we should not get into this. I don't know. This is also again become one bad habit in ISKCON, I would say, right? This chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for anything and everything. Actually, Prabhupada, please read Prabhupada Lilamrita, those who are not done. Prabhupada Lilamrita, Prabhupada actually said even when he was going through his pastime of major health problems, etc., he told his disciples to say, just do Kirtan. That is my life. Just do Kirtan and Bhagavatam. Not for anything. Just because it pleases Krishna and that's my life. You just do chanting, just do Kirtan and Bhagavatam. And he said, if at all you want to ask for Krishna, you make this prayer, not Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You make this prayer. The prayer is, oh, my dear Lord Krishna, our dear spiritual master has not finished his, whatever his mission in this material world. If you so desire, please let him remain with us for some more time. This was the prayer, but this was not Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We can, and I've asked senior devotees, and they've said that you can use Hare Krishna Mahamantra also, and that's not the right word, but that's what we seem to be doing, right? Using Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But we can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for praying for somebody's spiritual welfare, but definitely not material. Definitely Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not for anything material. And it's generally a good habit not to use this Hare Krishna Mahamantra for any purpose, right? Just pray. It's as powerful. Prayers are as powerful, right? So you can just pray heartfelt prayers to Krishna to help somebody, whatever be your desire. It could be material, spiritual, whatever, just prayers. But it's better not to bring Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Hare Krishna Mahamantra, let it remain, because then, the intention whenever we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra should be pure. Please give me pure devotional service. Nothing else, right? It's just easier. At least, this is what I practice. I know many devotees say different things about this, but my practice is I just don't do this Hare Krishna Mahamantra for anything. When people come in our center, etc., and say, it's my birthday, they say, yeah, we pray for this person, that he or she can make progress in Krishna consciousness and make this the last material birth. That's what we'll pray. And we'll say, okay, we'll chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra once. That's all, right? But that's a spiritual prayer for spiritual progress. But this doing and offering it, I offer one mala to them, it just becomes like, somehow it looks like we are making use of. Mantra we can pray. I think that's what I would say. Yeah.
So Prabhuji, just building up on Shobha Mataji's question. So when a soul departs, I'm chanting this Mahamantra so that the soul gets a chance to engage in your service. So would that also be wrong, Prabhuji?
No, we can, but the only point I'm trying to make is that we can simply pray also, right? The prayers are as powerful, right? Because the soul has departed, so we can pray. Then that and this, at least I do this whenever devotees say, please pray, I immediately pray, right? Whatever my prayer is worth for, right? But I just immediately pray, Krishna, please, if you so will, please take care of this, spiritual progress of this jiva. because others are anxious about it. That's all, right? I don't know. I have not gotten into this habit of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for these things. Somehow I just kept it as just chanting, begging for pure devotion. That's all otherwise I don't chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for that, for any other reason. Generally, my practice. Maybe right, maybe wrong.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a few doubts. When you said here hard hitting Shravanam, could you throw more light on that, Prabhuji?
Yeah, was my class hard hitting?
Of course, Prabhuji, it is
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, so that's all. See,
Okay,
I've
Prabhuji.
seen see, sadhu is one. That is why I don't give classes generally, in the sense I simply read from Prabhupada's purports. Right? I simply read from Prabhupada's purports and just drive home the point that Prabhupada is making in his purports. And Prabhupada is speaking pure devotional service. We just need to expose ourselves to these purports more and be ready to get hit. Right? They're so hard hitting. Prabhupada's purports are not, they're not soft pedaling, right? Aren't they? Are they telling you, saying that it's okay if you are not able to get up for Mangalarti? It's okay if you do Mishra Bhakti. Is Prabhupada saying any of this in his books? He's not.
No, Prabhu.
So, but what we end up doing is when we are reading, we discount all these statements when we are reading, right? And how do we approach? We say, no, Prabhupada keeps saying the same thing, so let me not give attention to it at all. No, but Prabhupada is repeating again means we have to give more attention to it, not putting it aside. Hard hitting just basically means just highlighting properly the importance of a purport that Prabhupada has written. This is hard hitting lecture for me because Prabhupada is hard hitting. Prabhupada is not soft pedaling anywhere. Right. So as long as somebody is able to just give you help understand the importance of those purports, importance of statements that Prabhupada is making, and yeah, just bring our attention to it, I think that itself is good enough. But unfortunately, nowadays I've seen we are behind. Will if I do such a hard hitting lecture, will people call me back for a class? Will so many other considerations are there. So people want to speak nicely. People want to speak pastimes. Actually, I choose practical application to pastimes. That's my approach, right? Well, sometimes I quote pastimes also, but my whole idea is that it's so important to understand how to practically apply Krishna consciousness in our life, that itself can actually connect to people, because everybody is going through the same struggle, right? In practicing Krishna consciousness. So why are we creating entertainment time? We don't have to entertain anybody here, right? We have to just help each other to practice bhakti more seriously and make progress. That's the idea of Shravanam.
Yes.
Anyway, I mean,
Prabhuji, in case of that devotee you were speaking of, since they were practicing devotion for around 20 years, definitely their child who passed away in 30 years would have got a better janma, na, Prabhuji?
no. See again,
Not
where is
required.
Shastra saying that? Where is Shastra saying? Shastra is saying one thing. Narada Pancharatra says that if I am a devotee, then my son, daughter, generations, etc., can get liberated, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
No, but we have to understand that this is not like a rule imposed on Krishna. It's not like some rule, right? It's a general guidance saying that Krishna is saying, okay, like multiple generations will be taken care. Yeah, we have faith in that. We have faith in that. Now, whether it happened now, whether it's going to happen after a few years, when that is left to Krishna. But the faith is that Krishna is going to take care. Yes, he's going to take care. What the take care means, that we don't know. That Krishna knows. Right?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
But we should just have faith saying that Krishna will take care. Yes, absolutely. Krishna has given promise. Right? But it also depends on whether actually Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, saying that if he's a Kanishta, even if he's a Kanishta Bhakta, 3 lifetimes, 3 generations are taken care. If he's a Madhyama Bhakta, 7 generations or something like that. And Uttama, some 14 or something he's quoted somewhere. Wait, let me see if I have the reference. Might have written it somewhere. No, I think I deleted it. Anyway, there's some reference to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur talking about. But anyway, I mean, so the point I'm making is that even if he's a Kanishta, 3 lifetimes are taken care. So we don't have to worry.
Okay,
But the
Prabhuji,
important thing
thank
we
you.
have to really worry about is, where is my bhakti? Am I at Kanishta stage, Madhyama stage, Uttama stage? How do I make progress? That's only that's all our concern needs to be. Have faith in Krishna. Have faith in Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Devotees, any more questions?
Yeah, just one.
Please,
It's not a
Mataji.
question. It's not a question. I just want to talk to Prabhuji. Prabhuji, very wonderful class today, and so many of us small, doubts have been cleared. But into prayers, chanting, how to do bhakti. I mean, so much. My eyes have just opened today, because a lot of things we had misconceptions, by hearing, attending classes, like chanting when a person leaves the body. Now, I wanted to ask the same question from you because my mother-in-law passed away just day before yesterday. So I was chanting one round for her yesterday. So after hearing this, I don't think I should chant, but instead I will pray for her.
Yeah, we can pray. See, the most important thing actually, which I suggest to all people who have, old parents or somebody in the hospital. Very recently, there was somebody who was admitted in the ICU. I told the devotee saying that please go and take Prabhupada Dhun box and keep it there. Somehow fight for it. Fight with the ICU people. Right? Do something, request, beg, do whatever you want. Just keep Prabhupada's Dhun box, that small transistor kind of thing that comes, right? Just keep it as close as possible to the ear so that the Harinam goes in. Right? That's the best service we can do.
Yes.
Right? Beyond that, really, I mean, it's done. It's done, right? And the Jiva will have his or the Atma's progression will be there. Krishna has already decided what is right, what is wrong. And our prayers can, give some little bit more mercy. If at all that Jiva has not got mercy, it can get mercy. But, it's...
She was 100 Prabhuji, she was 102 years old.
Oh,
and
my God.
Right throughout she was reading the Bhagavad Gita. She had no disease at all, no heart trouble,
Natural
no
death.
diabetes, nothing, natural death.
Yeah.
She just 2-3 falls and that's it. And
That's
her hair
it.
also was not grey. Her hair was also, that's the strangest thing.
What else do we want? I mean, it's fine, right? If a person has been so Krishna conscious in his or her life, then Krishna would have taken care. See, we should. This is what.
Not chanting Prabhuji because she's
No,
old,
it's okay.
She won't accept. She
It's
will read
okay.
the
I mean,
Bhagavad Gita right throughout.
no problem. She has faith in Krishna. Krishna will take care of her, right? Yeah, she may or may not have gone back to Godhead. But if you perfect your life, then she will go back. When you perfect your life, she will go back.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you perfect your life, your 3 generations will go back.
Okay.
Or 7 generations will go back. So now what is our work? I want to do good for my father or mother who have passed away. I'm going to intensify my bhakti. Simple.
Prabhuji, when you said that, it's not required to chant for anyone's others, this one, you might be saying from the purpose of a perspective of understanding that when we are doing japa, we are requesting service from Radha Krishna, right, Prabhuji? So we cannot request for service for others.
No, we can.
Because
We can.
Yeah,
we
that
can
is
request
one.
for service. See, we can request for service, but okay, I don't know. I mean, I've asked this with senior devotees, and they've said that we can request for service for other devotees, but somehow I mean, my own I've not seen Prabhupada anywhere writing this, right? And I just feel that prayers are also as powerful.
Yes, Prabhuji, they
right?
are.
So I
So,
prefer
yeah.
prayers compared to just chanting for somebody. It's like it's like why Prabhupada said don't do demigod worship. To me, it's like one of those things. Yeah, of course, we can worship demigods, praying them for like Katyayani, Lord Shiva. They're all devotees. They can help us to become devotees. But Prabhupada said don't because people will take a wrong route. It's the same approach with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra because what is happening in ISKCON temples? It's becoming like, oh, okay, this is their anniversary, let's chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. No, why? Because this habit of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for others is becoming so prevalent that we now seem to be using it for anything and everything.
Yes,
so
Prabhu,
I
that's
just
true.
protect myself from this, falling into this ditch by just saying I'll pray. I'll chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, just begging for service for myself.
So, Prabhuji, we have heard you now. So from now we can be without doing that.
I
But what
don't
about
know.
what we've
I
done?
don't know. I mean, that
So,
also I don't know. I cannot say that you can or you should. Right? See, it's your faith. See, because Mataji, this whole thing, no, Krishna consciousness, for me at least, it's a matter of faith. And for me, I have full trust in Krishna, right? And I just believe that Krishna is there. If I'm sincere in my life, Krishna will take care. I have serious challenges in my own life. I have serious challenges with people in my own family, and they have severe karma they're going through, etc. But it doesn't prevent me from trusting Krishna and having faith that Krishna will take care. Krishna is all powerful. Krishna loves his devotees. Krishna will take care. Beyond that, I just keep it simple. That's it, right? So why get into? If you trust Krishna, we'll just pray to Krishna and say, Krishna, you are there, and I firmly believe that you will take care of this jiva. Please, it's just my little insignificant prayer at your lotus feet, and then close. That's it. Have faith. Do we think that we have to keep telling Krishna again and again? Krishna,
no,
Krishna, Krishna, you're not hearing me, Krishna, please listen. Oh, not required. No, one prayer is enough. One
yes,
prayer is powerful enough. And
yes.
this is just like I said, I'm saying it. I'm not heard Prabhupada exactly saying do this or don't. But overall, the mood of devotion that I have developed and whatever I have heard from my own Guru Maharaj is just chant Hare Krishna, beg for devotional service. For anything else, we can just offer prayers, and I just stick to it. That's all.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much for the wonderful class. Can
Hare
we end
Krishna,
the class with
Prabhuji.
prayers, Prabhuji? Yeah,
So Prabhuji, you said we should just prayer is enough. There is no need of Hare Krishna mantra. So I have one doubt, Prabhuji. So when Lord Krishna knows everything, do we really need to say it outside, Prabhuji?
Perfect, no need. This is the perfection. The perfection is not to even wink. It's not even to wink in the direction. Is real maturity.
So
And if I
even
tell
the
all this, then
thought,
people will fall off their chair. So I just limit it to, at least, okay, you want to do prayer, at least do prayer, offer prayers. But yeah, pure devotees don't even bother.
what I mean to say is, Prabhuji, so even when the thought comes in our mind, it is already known to Krishna. So
Okay,
that's
so
why.
one thing I want to say, sorry for cutting you off. One thing I want to say, see, if you feel like praying, pray. If you feel that, no, I don't need to pray, Krishna is taking care, just leave it at that. It's not that Krishna will say, okay, you didn't pray for me, so I'm not going to take care of it. No, right? So if you just feel, no, I know this thought is coming to my mind. That's just because of my weakness of heart. But Krishna is there. I trust Krishna. Krishna will take care of it. That's good enough.
And one more question is that, Prabhuji. So in Mahabharatam, so in that Juda section, Prabhuji, so they asked when Shakuni played in place of Kauravas, so Krishna could also have played that Juda. So, but he says they called him. You didn't call me. I was just here. So in this section, we feel that for even help also, to ask help also, we have to ask. I mean, we have to call him. Then only Krishna is always with us, but we have to ask him. So what exactly we have to do, Prabhuji?
Okay, I don't know. Let me put it this way. Till we think that we are capable of taking care of ourselves, Krishna will automatically not come into our life. I'm repeating this. Till we think we are capable enough to take care of ourselves, Krishna will not interfere. Do you think Draupadi was a less devotee than any of us?
No,
Draupadi had to
Prabhuji.
really completely lift both her hands, saying that Krishna, I am now completely dependent on you. Surrender simply means this. Surrender simply means that Krishna, I am an insignificant soul, capable of nothing. I'm just dependent on you for everything. Right? When some jiva surrenders like this, we don't have to make repeated requests to Krishna, prayers to Krishna. In Yuddhakanda, I think in Ramayana, so when Vibhishana comes to surrender to Krishna, to Rama, so everybody is opposing. Sugriva is opposing, Angada is opposing. Then Rama says that when a jiva comes to me and says, "Oh Lord, I am yours," from that day on, I become responsible for that jiva. I'm responsible for the jiva. That is all surrender is. Just at this point of time, whoever is assembled here, if you think you are not yet surrendered to Krishna, you have 10 seconds to surrender. Just close your eyes, hold your hands and say, Krishna, I am yours. Done. This is surrender. And after this, we don't have to doubt Krishna. We don't have to doubt Krishna.
So, can I ask one more question, Prabhuji? So, our Pandavas, were they not completely surrendered, Prabhuji? So,
Who?
Pandavas.
See, when we hear things about with respect to all these great devotees, Krishna is trying to was Arjuna bewildered? Was Arjuna conditioned soul?
So he's trying to teach us.
Yeah, Krishna always see whenever this is a just commonly applied to all Leelas pastimes. Wherever Krishna's pure devotees are involved, Krishna is doing it just to teach. Right, and he has multiple things to teach, different things to teach to different people. Right, it's so okay. Let me because I know what the next question is. So was he teaching us to actually pray for him? So the way we have to understand is that Krishna in Bhagavad Gita spoke karma yoga. Is that the perfection of Bhagavad Gita? Is that why he spoke Bhagavad Gita for? No, that is just KG1. Right? What is the ultimate instruction? Manmana bhavamat bhakto sarvadharman parityaja. So we shouldn't confuse that all instructions are at the same level. It's for different devotees with different level of faith, different maturity. So it's very difficult to understand Krishna. That is why we should not read these histories, Leelas of Krishna, unless there is Acharya commentary to support it, because otherwise we'll never know what was the intention of Krishna, why he did what he did.
Sure, Professor. So the ultimate thing is we just surrender and everything happens according to whatever.
Yeah. That faith, Prabhupada has re-highlighted that in his purports multiple times. So there is no doubt about it. Just trust Krishna. He knows best. So Bhoktaram Ignatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gnatva Mam Shanti Mrichati. Shanti, just peace, happiness. Why? Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. I am well-wisher of every jiva. And I am Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. I am all powerful, don't doubt me. Right? So that's enough. Bhagavad Gita only. Bhagavata also, there are so many verses. But yeah, we can just trust Krishna. Prabhupada writes that progress in Krishna consciousness simply means increasing faith. That's all. If our faith is better than yesterday, we have made progress today.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
I'm so
Prabhuji,
happy.
for a wonderful class.
All of you are so inquisitive and asking so many questions. I do various classes, but I don't get so many questions. So I think I want to congratulate all of you. I think you're doing a good job.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Please keep coming so that we are more inspired and hard hit to continue our practice.
More shaken up after the class than before, saying that, oh my God,
Yes,
I don't
Prabhuji,
think
more
I'm doing
shaken up.
bhakti at all. And then,
It is like a, wake up call
then
for
Krishna
us.
will be like, you are discouraging devotees.
No,
Stop your nonsense
No,
preaching.
Prabhuji.
No, Prabhuji. You have awakened us from deep sleep.
Yeah.
You know
Meenakshi
what?
Mataji, 1 minute. Prabhuji, I just wanted to take this platform to thank you, because I don't think you you don't check your YouTube comments, because I saw your lecture on chanting, the 4 lectures. And in that, you gave one tip, Prabhuji, keeping on Prabhupada's audio, and I implemented that. And Prabhuji, I have to say that it's working. I don't know if that's a lack of good word, but it's working for me. So thank you so much for that.
It's okay. Whatever I've tried in my life, I speak in my classes. That's all. So it's okay. Right. Okay.
Can we end the session with prayers, Prabhuji?
Yeah. Please.
Mancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavriddhi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, devotees. I'm ending the session. See you tomorrow at 9:30 sharp.